Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over my MLB PrizePicks plays for today. Give you guys 3 strikeout props that I really like. I am sure some of these will get juiced before, getting in the afternoon once they update the board a little bit and once they, account for people making a lot of their overs and under selections. So you might want to get some of these in as soon as possible if you do like them as well. But we'll go through the strikeouts board. I'll give you a few that I like. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate it with the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you played the NBA PrizePicks, it went 4 of 5, so we did a solid job on that one. Could have had a 10x, 5 of 5 if Tatum shot a little bit better. He had a bunch of assists, but only shot, I think, 5 of 17, and he missed a couple free throws. But ultimately, hit the over fantasy on Wiggins, Smart, Looney, who a lot of people were hesitant about, and then we hit the under points on Klay Thompson, which was the first one that I put in. So let's get started here. If you wanted to play on PrizePicks, haven't yet, you can use my code PROCESS and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. So the first prop that I'm going to go with is going to be taking the over strikeouts on Dane Dunning. It's only at 4.5 right now, which is just a really, really good number. He's averaging about 90 pitches thrown per game, and this is a number that he's hit an absolute ton. He's hit this in 8 of his 10 starts this season. Especially as of late, he's hit this in 7 straight starts against Seattle. In his 2 meetings that he's faced him, he's averaging 6.5. He had a 10K game and a 3K game. And the matchup is solid. It's middle of the pack here, striking out about 22% against righties. They maybe a little bit more with the lineup that they have in there. If you look at his last 37 starts, he's hit this about 54% of the time, but he had a stretch where he wasn't striking a lot of guys out. But this season, the rectangles in white are this season stats. The gray is last season, but this season he's been on another level. And at the start of last season, he was on a great level. And then he went on end of the season poorly, but he's bounced back really strong. So probably could see this sort of trend once again for Dunning this year. And if you look at his matchups on Plate IQ here, looking at this lineup for the Mariners, there are some strikeouts, especially at the bottom of the order. Top of the order doesn't have a ton of Ks with Winker and France and like Frazier here, but you do have good strikeout and a good chance of getting strikeouts against guys like Julio Rodriguez, against Suarez, against Trammell, against the catcher Raleigh. And even though there are some lefties here, he's actually been similar numbers against lefties and righties, 23.5% K rate against lefties, 22% against righties. So Dunning is a prop that I really like taking the over on. The second prop we'll take the over on is going to be the over strikeouts on Chris Bassitt. Now, he's also sitting at just 4.5, and this is a guy that can touch up to 100 pitches. He's done that a couple times this season. I know he's facing off against the Dodgers, but it doesn't make too much of a difference for me, because we've seen the Dodgers get struck out a lot. Like Zach Eflin of the Phillies had 12 strikeouts against him. And the Dodgers coming off, they did win last night, but they only scored 2 runs, and they're coming off of a sweep against the Pirates, not at the top of the level right now. If you look at Chris Bassitt's numbers, he's hit this 70% of his starts this season. He's hit at least 5 Ks in 7 of his 10 starts. If you look at last season's numbers as well, in his last 37 starts, he's had at least 5 strikeouts in 68% of the time. The implied over based on the stats would be minus 208, but it's a 50-50 on PrizePicks, so we're going to be looking to take advantage of that. He's averaging 97 pitches in his last 10, and we can also take a look at his stuff here on Plate IQ. If we pull up the final game of the night, the Mets against the Dodgers, and pull up the Dodgers hitters. Bassitt's a very good pitcher. He's averaging a 25% K rate on the season. He's averaging well over strikeout per inning. And this lineup, you do have some Ks here with Bellinger, Chris Taylor, a lot of Ks with Rios, who's taken over for Muncy. And then you can still get strikeouts against guys like Will Smith. Occasionally can get strikeouts against Trey Turner. And his K numbers are good against both sides of the plate. Similar, 24% to lefties, 25% to righties. So taking the over 4.5 Ks on Chris Bassitt is the second number that we're going to go with. And then the final strikeout prop is going to be taking the over Ks on Nathan Eovaldi at 5.5. This is another one that I really like. He's also extremely good with the strikeouts. If you look at his numbers, he's also hit this in 7 of 9, I believe. I had one start where I don't know if he didn't pitch or I don't know what happened there, but this is also one that I feel very good about. He's going up against a pretty heavy strikeout team in Oakland. We only need 6 strikeouts. I'm sure this might get bumped up to 6 before long. And he's also a guy that He was averaging about 90 pitches in his last 10. He did go over 100 in his start against Oakland in the past. And if we look at, you can also look at the number of pitches thrown for him. So yeah, he definitely has, he only threw 39, so it might have been like a rain delay, or maybe just wasn't pitching well in that game. Maybe got blown up, but overall, he goes very deep into games. If he is pitching well, he can get you over 100 pitches, and he's hit this a lot of the times this year. If we look at his last 5 games, he had a 6 strikeout game, 11 strikeout game, 0 against Houston, 6 and 4. He's averaging 5.9 in his last 10. So taking the over 5.5 Ks on Eovaldi is the third prop that I like, and we can look at his stuff. He gets a good ballpark upgrade going into Oakland. Oakland's lineup is not very good. You have some heavy strikeout hitters with Pache, with Noose here. You have good strikeout stuff against Brown and Murphy, the catcher, with Laureano. So on the season, they're averaging about 23% K rate, and his strikeout stuff are really good against lefties and still solid against righties, 27 and 24%. He's good against both sides of the plate. So that's the third prop to take the over on strikeouts. So that's what I got for you guys. You can definitely play all 3 of these together, or you can mix and match a couple of them. If I looking at the board, see if anything else really sticks out to me, I would probably like to take the over maybe on Shane Bieber, but we'll see. I think if I do that, I might probably put it like in a different entry. But these 3, I definitely just have in one entry. We can also maybe consider taking the over strikeouts on like Max Fried. It's at 5. Like if it was at 4.5, be a little bit better, but 5 is still definitely doable against a heavy K team in Colorado, even though it's in Coors. But Fried is pretty solid with the strikeouts. But these are 3 props I'm giving you guys. Dane Dunning over Ks, Bassitt over Ks, and Eovaldi over Ks. They're all at good numbers today. So best of luck. Hopefully you guys make some money. As always, you can hit the like button if you enjoyed. You can use my code PROCESS if you haven't got signed up yet and you want to try it out. Best of luck, and I will see you all next time.